On December the 23rd, just 2 days before Christmas, 10-year-old Max bolted upright in his bed with a terrible realization. He had forgotten to write his letter to Santa Claus. While all the other children had sent their letters weeks ago, Max had been so busy helping his mother prepare for the holiday season that it had completely slipped his mind. The old grandfather clock in the hallway struck 11 at night, its deep chimes echoing through the quiet house. Max's heart raced as he remembered what his older sister had told him. All letters to Santa needed to arrive by Christmas Eve morning for him to read them in time. With less than 12 hours until dawn, Max knew he had to find a way to get his letter to the North Pole. Quietly slipping out of bed, Max tiptoed to his desk and pulled out his special Christmas stationery. By moonlight streaming through his window, he carefully wrote his letter, explaining why it was late and hoping Santa would understand. He had been busy helping his mother bake cookies for the elderly neighbors and assisting at the local animal shelter, leaving little time for himself. Just as Max finished signing his name, he heard a strange whistling sound from outside. Peering through his frosted window, he saw something extraordinary. A gleaming silver train had appeared in the middle of his street, steam rising from its chimney in the shape of candy canes. The Polar Express, which he had only read about in stories, was right there in front of his house. Without hesitation, Max grabbed his letter, pulled on his boots over his pajamas, and wrapped his warmest scarf around his neck. He crept downstairs and out the front door, where the train's conductor stood waiting with a golden ticket in his hand. Last call for emergency letters to Santa, the conductor announced with a twinkle in his eye, his pocket watch showing 11:11 p.m. All aboard! Max climbed onto the train and found himself in a car filled with other children in pajamas, each clutching last-minute letters. Some had forgotten like him, others had rewritten their letters after changing their minds, and a few had written special thank you notes to Santa. As the train chugged northward, hot chocolate appeared magically on silver trays, served by elves who danced through the aisles. The children sang Christmas carols, while the countryside outside transformed from sleeping towns to snow-covered forests, and finally to the glittering Arctic landscape. Through the window, Max watched the northern lights dance across the sky in ribbons of green and purple. The train climbed higher and higher until they were riding through clouds that tasted like cotton candy when they floated through the windows. Finally, the Polar Express arrived at the North Pole, where thousands of lights twinkled like earthbound stars. The children were led to Santa's special mailroom, where letters from around the world were being sorted by expert elf mail carriers. Max handed his letter to a friendly elf named Twinkle, who stamped it with a special Priority Express mark. But before Twinkle could add the letter to Santa's reading pile, Santa himself appeared in the doorway. With rosy cheeks and eyes full of kindness, he walked straight to Max. "I've been watching your good deeds, Max," Santa said warmly. "Sometimes the best Christmas wishes come from hearts that are too busy helping others to think of themselves." Santa read Max's letter right there and then, nodding appreciatively at the boy's modest wishes. He explained that Max's kindness throughout the year had already placed him on the extra nice list, and his thoughtful letter only confirmed what Santa already knew about his generous heart. As the Polar Express prepared for its return journey, Santa gave each child a special silver bell. "This bell will always ring for those who believe not just in Christmas magic," he explained, "but in the magic of helping others." Max arrived home just as the grandfather clock struck midnight. Tucking himself back into bed, He could hear the faint sound of the silver bell on his nightstand. Its clear tone reminding him that sometimes the best Christmas adventures happen when we least expect them.